Right. Hello, I'm Lee, and back again with Exodus. Um, Happy Sabbath, and we're on Exodus chapter 15. I got the Dead Sea Scrolls pulled up here, and I've got Dead Sea Scrolls Bible pulled up, the Septuagint, KJV, Blue Letter Bible, and Targums. And we finished Jubilees last time. So the Dead Sea Scrolls, in these translations here, we've got 9 through 20, there's 1, 23. So I'll go with scroll 4Q15. Happy Sabbath, John. Thank you. Then Moses and the children of Israel sang this song to Yahuwah and said, I will sing to Yahuwah, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider he has thrown into the sea. And the thing I like about the Dead Sea Scrolls, they've got his name in there. And the other translations, let's see, I was just saying the song. See, they got God in there. And in KJV, they've got Lord in there. So they actually got his name. So number 2 to 9. He was to me a helper and protector for salvation. This is my Elohim. I will glorify him. My father's Elohim, and I will exalt him. Yahuwah bringing wars to naught. Yahuwah is his name. He has cast the chariots of Pharaoh and his host into the sea. The chosen mounted captains, they were swallowed up in the Red Sea. He covered them with the sea. They sank to the depth like a stone. Thy right hand, O Elohim, has been glorified in strength. Thy right hand, O Elohim, has broken the enemies. And in the abundance of thy glory, thou hast broken the adversaries to pieces. Thou sentest forth thy wrath. It devoured them as stubble. And by the breath of thine anger, the water parted asunder. The waters were congealed as a wall. The waves were congealed in the midst of the sea. The enemy said, I will pursue. So that's number 9, or verse 9. The enemy said, I will pursue. This is from 4Q14, fragment. I will overtake. I will divide the plunder. My desires shall be satisfied on them. I will draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them. I'm missing part there to 11. Hand shall have dominion. Thou sendest forth thy wind. The sea covered them. They sank like lead in the mighty water. 11. Who is like you, Yahuwah, or Yahweh, among the gods? Who is like you, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? You stretched out your right hand, the earth swallowed them. You in your loving kindness have led the people that you have redeemed. You have guided them in your strength to your holy habitation. The peoples have heard, and they tremble. Pangs have taken hold on the inhabitants of Philistia. Then the chiefs of Edom were dismayed. Trembling takes hold of the mighty men of Moab. All the inhabitants of Canaan have melted away. Terror and dread falls on them. By the greatness of your arm, they are as still as a stone. 16. Till our people pass over. Yep. Till your people pass over, Yahuwah, until the people you have purchased pass over. You shall bring them in and plant them in the mountain of your inheritance, the place, Yahuwah, which you have made for yourself to dwell in, the sanctuary, Yahuwah. So it's got Lord in our translations, and the Dead Sea Scrolls it's got before they removed it. Which your hands have established, Yahuwah shall reign forever and ever. For the horses of Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea, and Yahuwah brought back the waters of the sea on them. But the children of Israel walked on dry land in the middle of the sea, Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a tambourine in her hand, and all the women went out after her with tambourines and with dances. Miriam answered them, "Sing to Yahuwah, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider he has thrown into the sea." 23. So Moses brought up the children of Israel from the Red Sea and brought them into the wilderness of Sur, and they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water to drink. And they came to Marah and could not drink of Marah. When they came to Marah, they couldn't drink from the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore its name was called Marah. The people murmured against Moses, saying, "What shall we drink?" Then he cried to Yahuwah. Yahuwah showed him a tree, and he threw it into the waters, and the waters were made sweet. There he made a statute and an ordinance for them, and there he tested them. He said, "If you will diligently listen to Yahuwah your Elohim's voice, and will do that which is right in his eyes, and will pay attention to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases on you, which I have put on the Egyptians, for I am Yahuwah who heals you." They came to Elam, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees. They encamped there by the waters. And that's still his promise today. Keep his commandments, he'll protect you. You see in, let's see here. Sealed in Revelation 7:4, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. See, he seals them. He said in the verse right before, "Hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our Elohim in their foreheads." So it's for protection. They're sealed for protection. He doesn't change. He's the same way then, he's the same way now. Man says he changes. Nope. So 15. Yep, the Song of Moses. Saying, where's it at? Yes, yeah, they've even got it in the Aramaic Targums saying that his name is the Lord. Nope. Lord of Lords and King of Kings, yeah, but that's not his name. All power. Pharaoh. That does mention the oath in there. That's in Enoch. Yep, the King of Kings. Yep, I'm not sure where it's at. I was looking for, 26. Wish they had the verses numbered. Be a lot easier to find it. 26, 27. Thy sanctuary that with both hands thou hast established. Green tea. Good stuff. So we got, so that's 15. Song of Moses. And 16. If I could pull that up real quick. Let's see here. Song of Moses. Oh, let's see. YouTube. Alan Horvath does a really good, he's passed away now, but he did a really good Song of Moses. And Adam on Parable of the Vineyard plays it. I don't know if you can pull it up or not, but he does an awesome job with the Song of Moses. There you go. Performed by Alan Horvath. Let's see. Song of Moses. I'm not going to play it, but I just wanted to pull it up. So if you want to go listen to it. Oh, that's on Parable of the Vineyard. Yep. Song of Moses by Alan Horvath. Parable of the Vineyard. So, yep. Very awesome. All right. Let's go over to Exodus chapter 16. See what we got here. 1, 2, 3. All right, so I got 4Q11 from Paleogenesis Exodus. They took their journey from Elam, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elam and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. The whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron in the wilderness, and the children of Israel said to them, "We wish that we had died by Yahuwah's hand in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the meat pots, when we ate our fill of bread, for you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger." Then Yahuwah said to Moses, "Behold, I will rain bread from the sky for you, and the people shall go out and gather a day's portion every day, that I may test them, whether they will walk in my law or not. Not tempt them, test them. It shall come to pass on the 6th day that they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily." Moses and Aaron said to all the children of Israel, "At evening, then you shall know that Yahuwah has brought you out of the land of Egypt. And in the morning, then you shall see Yahuwah's glory, because he hears your murmurings against Yahuwah. Who are we that you murmur against us?" See, 6. Yeah. There's 7 here. In 4Q22. In the morning you shall see Yahuwah's glory, because he hears your murmurings against Yahuwah. Who are we that you murmur against us? Moses said, "Now Yahuwah will give you meat to eat in the evening, and in the morning bread to satisfy you, because Yahuwah hears your murmurings which you murmur against him. And who are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against Yahuwah." Says 8. 8 to 13. And Moses said to Aaron, "Say to all the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before Yahuwah, for he has heard your murmuring." And when Aaron spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, and they turned toward the wilderness, then the glory of Yahuwah appeared in a cloud. And Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, "I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak to them, saying, towards evening you shall eat flesh, and in the morning you shall be satisfied with bread. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah your Elohim." And it was evening, and the quails came up and covered the camp. 13. In the evening, okay, here you go. In the evening, quail came up and covered the camp, and in the morning, dew lay around the camp. When the dew had gone, behold, on the surface of the wilderness was a small round thing, small as the frost on the ground. 14, 15. Yeah. Yep, and if the Sabbath starts in the evening, as many people say, and the quails came up in the evening, can you butcher the quails and, prepare them and do all that stuff in the evening if the Sabbath begins in the evening? Or do you butcher the quails in the evening and prepare for the Sabbath to begin in the morning? The Sabbath begins in the morning, not in the evening. So 15. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, "What is this?" For they knew not what it was. And Moses said to them, "This is the bread which Yahuwah has given you to eat. This is that which Yahuwah has appointed. Gather of it, each man for his family, a homer for each person, according to the number of your souls. Gather each of you with his fellow lodgers." So 17. And we're going to look at here. Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit here too. John 6, verse 46. Not that any man has seen the Father, save he which is of Elohim. He has seen the Father. That's Yahushua, the Messiah. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me hath the everlasting life. I am the bread of life. Your fathers did eat the manna in the wilderness, and are dead. This is the bread which cometh down from heaven, that a man may eat thereof and not die. That's the Messiah. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. The Jews therefore strove among themselves, saying, "How can this man give us his flesh to eat?" And reading in the early assembly writings, 100, 200 AD, the Greeks accused the followers of Messiah of being cannibals for that reason there, as far as I can tell. From everything I've read. So, let's see, where's it at? Yeah, Paul talks about it too. There's it at, Paul. I think he says angel's food. Well, here's David talks about it. Psalm 78:25. Man did eat angel's food. He sent them meat to the full. Talking about the quails and the manna. Let's read here 22, Psalm 78:22, because they believed not in Elohim and trusted not in his salvation, though he had commanded the clouds from above and opened the doors of heaven and had rained down manna upon them to eat and had given them of the corn of heaven. Calls it the corn. Man did eat angels' food. He sent them meat to the full. He caused an east wind to blow in the heaven, and by his power he brought in the south wind. He rained flesh upon them as dust, and feathered fowls like as the sand of the sea. And he let it fall in the midst of their camp, round about their habitations. 78:24. Yeah, that's all about the Exodus experience. Psalm 78. Corn out of heaven. Dagon. H1715 in the Strong's Concordance. Wheat, cereal, grain, corn. Let me just pull up another tab here. Septuagint, Psalms. It'll be Septuagint's a chapter before, so it'll be 77. Man ate angel's bread. $25. Man did eat angel's food. Verse 24, he sent them meat to the full. Provision to the full. rained upon them manna to eat, and gave them the bread of heaven. Don't say corn in here. Huh. No corn in the Septuagint. Right, this was pointed. Yep. So we got 17. The children of Israel did so and gathered some more and some less. When they measured it with an omer, he who gathered much had nothing over, and he who gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. Moses said to them, "Let no one leave of it until the morning." Notwithstanding, they didn't listen to Moses, but some of them left of it until the morning, and it bred worms and became foul, and Moses was angry with them. They gathered it morning by morning, everyone according to his eating. When the sun grew hot, it melted. 22. Yeah. Corn doesn't melt. Look at that right there. Yeah. Yeah, I thought for sure Paul talked about it. Mm-hmm. It's a big book. Yep. Alright, so 22 in the Septuagint. We got, came to pass on the 6th day, they gathered double what was needed, 2 homers for 1 man. All the chiefs of the synagogue went in and reported it to Moses. And Moses said to them, 23, he said to them, "This is that which Yahuwah has spoken. Tomorrow is a solemn rest. Tomorrow, a holy Sabbath to Yahuwah." Wouldn't he say, if it was evening, wouldn't he say, this evening begins the Sabbath rest? Bake that which you will bake, and boil that which you want to boil, and all that remains over lay up for yourselves to be kept until the morning. Sabbath in the morning. They laid it up until the morning as Moses asked, and it didn't become foul, and there were no worms in it. Moses said, "Eat that today, for today is a Sabbath, today to Yahuwah. Today you shall not find it in the field. 6 days you shall gather it, but on the 7th day is the Sabbath. In it there shall be none. On the 7th day some of the people went out to gather, and they found none." Does it say they went out in the evening to gather when the Sabbath started? No, the day. Yahuwah said to Moses, "How long do you refuse to keep my commandments and my laws? Because, behold, because Yahuwah has given you the Sabbath, therefore he gives you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Everyone stay in his place. Let no one go out of his place on the 7th day." So the people rested on the 7th day. The house of Israel called its name manna, and it was like a coriander seed, white, and its taste was like wafers with honey. 32. Moses said, and this is 4Q22. Moses said, "Let it be kept throughout your generations, that they may see the bread with which I fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you out of the land of Egypt." Moses said to Aaron, "Take a pot and put an omer full of manna in it, and lay it up before Yahuwah to be kept throughout your generations." As Yahuwah commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. The children of Israel ate the manna 40 years until they came to an inhabited land. They ate the manna until they came to the borders of the land of Canaan. Yeah, I wonder if that manna is still around. So we got, let's see. Yeah, see, tomorrow. Let's go to Exodus 16:23. Tomorrow, H4279. There's the Hebrew word. In the future, as the day following the present day in future time. Tomorrow is not this evening. Tomorrow is Sabbath starts in the morning. I don't know why it's so hard for people to grasp. It's so simple. 17. So we got here scroll 4Q11, Exodus 17, Paleogenesis Exodus. All the congregation of the children of Israel traveled by stages from the wilderness of Sin. This by stages is missing from the traditional text. Starting according to Yahuwah's commandment and encamped in Rephidim, but there was no water for the people to drink. Therefore the people quarreled with Moses and said, "Give us water to drink." Moses said to them, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you test Yahuwah?" The people were thirsty for water there, and the people murmured against Moses and said, "Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to kill us, our children, and our livestock with thirst?" Say 4. So verse 4 from 4Q14. Moses cried to Yahuwah, saying, "What shall I do with these people? They are almost ready to stone me." Yahuwah said, see, they already know in the Hebrew, when you're reading the context, you already know who he's talking to. So you don't need this. This is added by translators later. Yahuwah said to Moses. You already know he's talking to Moses, so you know who he's talking to. "Walk on before the people, and take the elders of Israel with you, and take the rod in your hand with which you struck the Nile, and go in. Behold, I will stand before you there on the rock in Horeb. You shall strike the rock, and water will come out of it, that the people may drink." Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. He called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because the children of Israel quarreled, and because they tested Yahuwah, saying, "Is Yahuwah among us or not?" Then Amalek came and fought with Israel in Rephidim. Moses said to Joshua, "Choose men for us, and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill, with Elohim's rod in my hand." So Joshua did as Moses had told him, and fought with Amalek. And Moses and Aaron and Hur went up to the top of the hill. When Moses held up his hand, Israel prevailed. When he let it down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. Aaron and Hur held up his hands, the one on the one side and the other on the other side. His hands were steady until sunset. Joshua defeated Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. Yahuwah said to Moses, "Write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, that I will utterly blot out the memory of Amalek from under the sky." Moses built an altar and called its name Yahuwah our banner. He said, "Yah has sworn, Yahuwah will have war with Amalek from generation to generation." So 16. Scroll changes word order in the Masoretic text. This reading matches the Samaritan Pentateuch. It looks like they're pretty close to the same. 16. So Amalek to all generation with a secret hand. 16. I don't have a secret hand in there. Septuagint's got secret hand. Jehovah Nissi. Nope, that's added. His name ain't Jehovah. Yahweh our banner. If you look at, let's see here, if I can pull it up. Where's that? Yep. There. Yep, load up. Alright, that's the Dead Sea Scrolls by Giza Vermes. Let's see. No. Not it. Banner's in there. Yep. So in the Dead Sea Scrolls, let's see. This is the community of the covenant. John the Baptist and the Levites in the wilderness of Judea, baptizing the Messiah, kept all these documents. The Pharisees and the Roman Catholic Church got rid of everything they didn't like. Our Heavenly Father is smarter than they are. The hymns include such as Hoist a banner, O you who lie in the dust, O bodies gnawed by worms, raise up an ensign. That connects another verse, which may connotate bodily resurrection. Yep. Let's see. So on the standards, this here is, I think this is the War Scroll. Yep, War Scroll. In the War Scroll, we got the rule for the standards of the whole congregation according to their levies on the great standard at the head of the people they shall write the people of God, or Elohim, together with the names of Israel and Aaron and the names of the 12 tribes of Israel, according to the order of their precedence. On the standards of the camp, columns formed by 3 tribes, they shall write of God, or of Elohim, together with the name of the leader of the camp. On the standard of the tribe, they shall write banner of God. Very interesting. Yahweh, our banner. That's what he had. Moses built an altar and called its name Yahweh, our banner. Banner of God, together with the name of the leader of the tribe and the names of the chiefs of its clans. On the standard of the myriad they shall write banner of God, or banner of Yahuwah, together with the name of the chief of the myriad and the names of the leaders of its thousands. On the standard of the 1,000 they shall write banner of Yahuwah, together with the name of the chief of the 1,000 and the names of the leaders of its hundreds. And you got, yep, and here you've got, these are the hymns, more than likely. Yep, hymn 6. Oh, the hymns are beautiful. I was reading these the other day. I'll just read hymn 6. Thou art long-suffering in thy judgments and righteous in all thy deeds. By thy wisdom all things exist from eternity, and before creating them thou knewest their works forever and ever. Nothing is done without thee, and nothing is known unless thou desire it. Thou hast created all the spirits, and hast established a statute and law for all their works. All the creation, us included. Church tells you the Messiah did away with the law. Well, did he do away with the creation? No. Wrong, church. Thou hast spread the heavens for thy glory, and hast appointed all their hosts according to thy will, the mighty winds according to their laws, before they became angels of holiness and eternal spirits in their dominions, the heavenly lights to their mysteries, the stars to their paths, the clouds to their tasks, the thunderbolts and lightnings to their duty, and the perfect treasuries of snow and hail to their purposes, to their mysteries. Talks about this in Enoch. Thou hast created the earth by thy power, and the seas and deeps by thy might. Thou hast fashioned all their inhabitants according to thy wisdom, and hast appointed all that is in them according to thy will, And to the spirit of man which thou hast formed in the world, thou hast given dominion over the works of thy hands, for everlasting days and unending generations. In their ages thou hast allotted to them tasks during all their generations, and judgment in their appointed seasons, according to the rule of the two spirits, for thou hast established their ways. The two spirits. Look at the testament of the 12 patriarchs. Forever and ever, and hast ordained from eternity, their visitation for reward and chastisements. Thou hast allotted it to all their seed for eternal generations and everlasting years. In the wisdom of thy knowledge thou didst establish their destiny before ever they were. All things exist according to thy will, and without thee nothing is done. These things I know by the wisdom which comes from thee, for thou hast unstopped my ears to marvelous mysteries. And yet I, a shape of clay, kneaded in water, a ground of shame, and a source of pollution, a melting pot of wickedness, and an edifice of sin, a straying and perverted spirit, of no understanding, fearful of righteous judgments. What can I say that is not foreknown? And what can I utter that is not foretold? All things are graven before thee on a written reminder for everlasting ages. Book of reminder. Yep. If I can remember to pull that up. And for the numbered cycles of the eternal years and all their seasons, they are not hidden or absent from thee. What shall a man say concerning his sin? And how shall he plead concerning his iniquities? And how shall he reply to righteous judgment? For thine, O Elohim of knowledge, are all righteous deeds, and the counsel of truth. But to the sons of men is the work of iniquity, or lawlessness, and deeds of deceit. It is thou who hast created breath for the tongue, and thou knowest its words. Thou didst establish the fruit of the lips before ever they were. Thou dost set words to measure, and the flow of breath from the lips to meter. Thou bringest forth sounds according to their mysteries, and the flow of breath from the lips according to its reckoning, that they may tell of thy glory, and recount thy wonders and all thy works of truth, and in all thy righteous judgments, and that thy name be praised by the mouth of all men, and that they may know thee according to their understanding, and bless thee forever. By thy mercies and by thy great goodness thou hast strengthened the spirit of man in the face of the scourge, and hast purified the erring spirit of a multitude of sins, that it may declare thy marvels in the presence of all thy creatures. I will declare to the assembly of the simple the judgments by which I was scourged, and to the sons of men all thy wonders, by which thou hast shown thyself mighty in me, in the presence of the sons of Adam. Hear, O you wise men, and meditate on knowledge. O you fearful, be steadfast. Increase in prudence, O all you simple. O just men, put away iniquity, lawlessness. Hold fast to the covenant, O all you perfect of way. O all you afflicted with misery, be patient and despise no righteous judgment. But the foolish of heart shall not comprehend these things. Formerly, upon uncircumcised lips thou hast laid a reply. Thou hast upheld my soul, strengthening my loins and restoring my power. My foot has stood in the realm of ungodliness. I have been a snare to those who rebel, but a healing to those of them who repent. Prudence to the simple, and steadfastness to the fearful of heart. To traitors thou hast made of me a mockery and scorn, but a counsel of truth and understanding to the upright of way. I have been iniquity for the wicked, ill repute on the lips of the fierce. The scoffers have gnashed their teeth. I have been a byword to traitors. The assembly of the wicked has raised against me. They have roared like turbulent seas, and their towering waves have spat out mud and slime. But to the elect of righteousness thou hast made me a banner and a discerning interpreter of wonderful mysteries, to try those who practice truth, and to test those who love correction. To the interpreters of error I have been an opponent, but a man of peace. 10 Commandments. To all those who see true things, to all those who seek smooth things, I have been a spirit of zeal, like the sound of the roaring of many waters. So have all the deceivers thundered against me. All their thoughts were devilish schemings. They have cast toward the pit the life of the man, whose mouth thou hast confirmed, and into whose heart thou hast put teaching and understanding, that he might open a fountain of knowledge to all men of insight. They have exchanged them for lips of uncircumcision, and for the foreign tongue, and of a people without understanding, that they might come to ruin in their straying. So the hymns are powerful, very powerful. And this is another hymn. Hymn 14. Thou hast unstopped my ears to the correction of those who reprove with justice. Thou hast saved me from the congregation of vanity and from the assembly of violence. Thou hast brought me into the council of righteousness, maybe, and hast purified me of sin. And I know there is hope for those who turn from transgression, and for those who abandon sin, and to walk without wickedness in the way of thy heart. I am consoled for the roaring of the peoples, and for the tumult of the kingdoms when they assemble. For in a little while I know thou wilt raise up survivors among thy people, and a remnant within thine inheritance. Thou wilt purify and cleanse them of their sin, for all their deeds are in thy truth. Thou wilt judge them in thy great loving kindness. Hallelujah. And in the multitude of thy mercies, and in the abundance of thy pardon, teaching them according to thy word, and thou wilt establish them in thy counsel, according to the uprightness of thy truth. Thou wilt do these things for thy glory and for thine own sake, to magnify the law and the truth. Isaiah 42:21, Yahuwah is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. And to enlighten the members of thy council in the midst of the sons of men, that they may recount thy marvels for everlasting generations, and meditate unceasingly upon thy mighty deeds. All the nations shall acknowledge thy truth, and all the people thy glory. For thou wilt bring thy glorious salvation to all the men of thy council, to those who share a common lot with the angels of the face. That's interesting. And among them shall be no mediator to invoke thee, and no messenger to make reply. 4. They shall reply according to thy glorious word, and shall be thy princes in the company of the angels. They shall send out a bud forever, like a flower of the fields, and shall cause a shoot to grow into the boughs of an everlasting plant. It shall cover the whole earth with its shadow, and its crown shall reach to the clouds. Its roots shall go down to the abyss, and all the rivers of Eden shall water its branches. If you want to know about the rivers of Eden, you can check this out. I read the book, checked it out, and I think they're pretty solid. Do I agree with everything they do? No. But this is a very good resource. When I first saw that, I said, Solomon's Treasure. I don't want to read about Solomon's Treasure. And I ended up coming back to it a little bit later, and I was like, maybe there's more to this than just Solomon's Treasure. So I ended up reading the book and watching part of the series, and yep, I highly recommend it. So, yes, OphirInstitute.com for the God culture. A source of light shall become an eternal, ever-flowing fountain, and in its bright flames all the sons of iniquity shall be consumed. It shall be a fire to devour all sinful men in utter destruction. They who bore the yoke of my testimony have been led astray by teachers of lies, and have rebelled against the service of righteousness. Whereas thou, O my Elohim, didst command them to mend their ways by walking in the way of holiness. The way. There's one way through the Bible. The way to life. Well, there's two ways. The way to life and the way to death. Let's see, where's it at? The way. Yep. Put in the wrong thing. The way. Psalm 119:32. I'll run the way of thy commandments when thou shalt enlarge my heart. Deuteronomy 11:28. And a curse if you will not obey the commandments of Yahuwah your Elohim, but turn aside out of the way, which I command you this day, to go after other Elohim, which you have not known. The way. Lead me in the way everlasting. 2 witnesses, David, Moses, and Peter, the right way, and Jeremiah 21:8. And unto this people thou shalt say, Thus saith Yahuwah, Behold, I set before you the way of life and the way of death. You go your own way, it's death. You go his way, his commandments, life. Isaiah talks about it. And the way Paul talks about it. Acts 24:14, but this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, so yes, even back then they called it heresy to keep the commandments, so worship I the Elohim of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law, Moses, and the prophets. The way. Satan hates the way, and his people hate the way. The way of holiness, where no man goes who is uncircumcised, or unclean, or violent. They have staggered aside from the way of thy heart, and languish in great wretchedness. A counsel of Belial is in their heart, and in accordance with their wicked design they wallow in sin. I am as a sailor in a ship amid furious seas. Their waves and all their billows roar against me. There is no calm in the whirlwind, that I may restore my soul, no path that I may straighten my way. On the face of the waters the deeps resound to my groaning, and my soul has journeyed to the gates of death. But I shall be as one who enters a fortified city, as one who seeks refuge behind a high wall, until deliverance comes. I will lean on thy truth, his truth. Psalms 119, 142, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. For thou wilt set the foundation on rock, and the framework by the measuring cord of justice, and the tried stones thou wilt lay by the plumb line of truth, to build a mighty wall which shall not sway, and no man entering there shall stagger. For no enemy shall ever invade it, since its doors shall be doors of protection, through which no man shall pass, and its bars shall be firm, and no man shall break them. No rabble shall enter in with their weapons of war, until all the arrows of the war of wickedness have come to an end. And then at the time of judgment, at the end, the sword of Elohim shall hasten, and all the sons of his truth shall awake. What's happening right now? To overthrow wickedness, all the sons of iniquity shall be no more. The hero shall bend his bow, the fortress shall open to endless space, and the everlasting gate shall send out weapons of war. They shall be mighty from end to end of the earth, and there shall be no escape. For the guilty of heart in their battle, they shall be utterly trampled down, without any remnant. There shall be no hope in the greatness of their might, no refuge for the mighty warriors, for the battle shall be to the Most High Elohim. Hoist a banner, O you who lie in the dust, O bodies gnawed by worms, raise up an ensign for the destruction of wickedness. The sinful shall be destroyed in the battles against the ungodly. The scourging flood, when it advances, shall not invade the stronghold. And ensign and remembrance. Let's see. And when you look at Isaiah 11, I think that's one it is. It's the second Exodus. Yeah, Isaiah 11:12. He shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Also Jeremiah 23, Isaiah 11 through 15, Jeremiah 30:31, Isaiah 66, Ezekiel 20. Yep. Jeremiah 23, they're not going to talk about the second Exodus anymore. They're going to talk about the time when he brought them up from all the countries whither he had driven them. All right, and what was I going to look up here? Reminder. Book of Reminder. Hey, I didn't forget. And here in, this looks like their interpretations of the prophecies. And Elohim, let's just start here. But those who turn from the sin of Jacob, who keep the covenant of Elohim, shall then speak each man to his fellow, to justify each man his brother, that their step may take the way of Elohim, the way. And Elohim will heed their words, and will hear. In a book of reminder, see that in the other hymn, shall be written before him of them that fear Elohim and worship his name, against the time when salvation and righteousness shall be revealed to them that fear Elohim. So it's not us that's doing this, it's him that's doing this. People think it's weird. There's something wrong with you. You're in that cult. You're in a Hebrew cult. No, I pray for the truth. And he said, here you go. So, Exodus 18. Exodus 18, verse 1, scroll 4Q14. Now Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that Elohim had done for Moses and for Israel his people, how that Yahuwah had brought Israel out of Egypt. Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, received Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her away, and her 2 sons. The name of one son was Gershom, for Moses said, I have lived as a foreigner in a foreign land. The name of the other was Eleazar, for he said, my father's Elohim was my help and delivered me from Pharaoh's sword. Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with Moses' sons and his wife to Moses into the wilderness, where he was encamped at the mountain of Elohim. He said to Moses, I, your father-in-law Jethro, have come to you with your wife and her 2 sons with her. Moses went out to meet his father-in-law and bowed and kissed him. They asked each other of their welfare, and he brought him into the tent. Moses told his father, it says they came here, traditional Dead Sea Scrolls. He brought him into the tent. Moses told his father-in-law all that Yahuwah had done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardships that had come on them on the way, and how Yahuwah delivered them. Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which Yahuwah had done to Israel, in that he had delivered them out of the hand of the Egyptians. Jethro said, blessed be Yahuwah, who has delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who has delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that Yahuwah is greater than all gods, because of the way that they treated people arrogantly. Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, and that's interesting. He knows that Yahuwah is greater than all gods because of the way they treated people arrogantly. Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for Elohim. Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law, before Elohim. So that's verse 12. Verse 13 from scroll 4Q22. On the next day, Moses set to judge the people, and the people stood around Moses from the morning to the evening. When Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, what is this thing that you do for the people? Why do you sit alone, and all the people stand around you from morning to evening? Moses said to his father-in-law, because the people come to inquire of Elohim. When they have a matter, they come to me, and I judge between a man and his neighbor, and I make them know the statutes of Elohim and his laws. Moses' father-in-law said to him, the thing that you do is not good. You will surely wear away both you and this people that is with you, for the thing is too heavy for you. You are not able to perform it yourself alone. Listen now to my voice. I will give you counsel, and Elohim be with you. You represent the people before Elohim, and bring the causes to Elohim. You shall teach them the statutes and the laws, and shall show them the way in which they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, you shall provide out of all the people able men which fear Elohim, men of truth, hating unjust gain, and placing such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, and rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. Where do we hear that at? War scroll. Let them judge the people at all times. It shall be that every great matter they shall bring to you, but every small matter they shall judge themselves. So shall it be easier for you, and they shall share the load with you. If you will do this thing, and Elohim commands you so, then you will be able to endure, and all these people also will go to their place in peace. So Moses listened to the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he had said. Moses, okay, so this is added to the text, chose able men. 25. Moses chose able men. Oh, well, okay. So you got 4Q11, Paleo Genesis Exodus, that has, this is included, which is in our traditional text. And this scroll, 4Q22, Paleo Exodus, does not include this section. So in one manuscript it had it, and one manuscript it didn't have it. Moses said to the people, I am not able to bear you myself alone. Yahuwah your Elohim has multiplied you, and behold, you are this day like the stars of the sky for multitude. Yahuwah the Elohim of your fathers make you 1,000 times as many as you are, and bless you as he has promised you. How can I myself alone bear your heavy burden and your load, your burden and your strife? Take wise men of understanding and known according to your tribes, and I will make them heads over you. You answered me and said, the thing which you have spoken is good for us to do. And he took the heads of their tribes, wise and knowing men, and he appointed them as heads over them, rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, and rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens, and officers according to their tribes. And he commanded the judges, saying, hear the cases between your brothers, and judge righteously between a man and his brother, and a sojourner who is with him. You shall not show partiality in judgment. You shall hear the small and the great alike. You shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is Elohim's, and the case that is too hard for you, you shall bring to me, and I will hear it. And he charged them all the matters which they were to do. And this has got 2 down here. 2 says, this reading matches the Samaritan Pentateuch and Deuteronomy 1, 9 through 18. So this is in our Deuteronomy, but missing in our Exodus, but it's included in the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Pentateuch. They judged the people at all times. They brought the hard cases to Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went into his own land. 27. Yep. Not God, Yahuwah. 18, 27. Yep. So 19. We started at 14. No, we started at 15. Okay. So we're on 15 and 19. 19. So 19, we've got verse 1. Yep. It's all over the place. So we go in the 3rd month after the children of Israel had gone, this is 4Q22, out of the land of Egypt. On that same day they came into the wilderness of Sinai. So 1, it's a 7 it looks like. Yep. They departed from Rephidim and came into the wilderness of Sinai, and there Israel encamped before the mountain. And Moses went up to the mount of Elohim, and Elohim called him out of the mountain, saying, these things shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and thou shalt report them to the children of Israel. You have seen all that I have done to the Egyptians, and I took you up as upon eagle's wings, and I brought you near to myself. And now if you will indeed hear my voice and keep my covenant, eagle's wings, keep my covenant. Sounds like a psalm. Psalm 91. Psalm 91. Oop. Or 92. Where's that at? Yeah. Under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. You shall be to me a peculiar people above all nations, for the whole earth is mine. And is that just Old Testament? Peculiar people. Peter. Is it 2 Peter? Let's go here. Peculiar people. Yep. 1 Peter 2:9. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people. Israel then, Israel now. Always supposed to be a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Hallelujah. Above all nations, for the whole earth is mine, and you shall be to me a royal priesthood and a holy nation. These words shalt thou speak to the children of Israel. 7. Moses came and called for the elders of the people and set them before all these words which Yahuwah commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, all that Yahuwah has spoken we will do. And Moses reported the words of the people to Yahuwah. Yahuwah said to Moses, behold, I come to you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you, and may also believe you forever. Moses told the words of the people to Yahuwah. Yahuwah said to Moses, go to the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their garments, and be ready for the third day. For on the third day Yahuwah will come down in the sight of all the people on Mount Sinai. You shall set the bounds to the people all around, saying, be careful that you don't go up unto the mountain or touch its border. Whoever touches the mountain shall be surely put to death. No hand shall touch him, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through. Whether it is animal or man, he shall not live. When the trumpet sounds long, they shall come up to the mountain. So why would they have to be ready against the third day? So he's going to come down on the mountain, and they got to be ready against the third day. We look at, let's see. Yep. Yeah, that's a lot. Let's go here. Red. David Showbread. 1 Samuel 21:6 and let's see. There we go. So when the disciples were picking corn and the Pharisees saw it, and they said, it's not lawful to do that on the Sabbath day. He said, but he said to them, Matthew 12:3, have you not heard what David did when he was hungry, and they that were with him? How he entered into the house of Elohim and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priest. Or have you not read in the law how on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. I think that throws people off right there when they get to that part. But if you had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy and not sacrifice, you would not have condemned the guiltless. So he told them they were guiltless for picking the corn. And it's because of what David did. David and his men. So you go to 1 Samuel. Go see what David did. And David, chapter 1 Samuel 21, David said unto Ahimelech, the priest, the king hath commanded me a business, and hath said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee, and what I have commanded thee, and I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. Now therefore, what is under thine hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or what there is present. And the priest answered David and said, there is no common bread under mine hand, but there is hallowed bread. If the young men have kept themselves at least from women, there you go. If they kept themselves at least from women. And David answered the priest and said unto him, of a truth, women have been kept from us about these 3 days, since I came out, and the vessels of the young men are holy. And the bread is in a manner common, yea, though it were sanctified this day in the vessel. So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread there but the showbread that was taken from before Yahuwah to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. So you see, the vessels of the men were holy. They were kept from women for 3 days, so the disciples could pick corn on the Sabbath and eat, and they were blameless. David and his men could eat the showbread, and they were blameless. They didn't break the law. So you look at what he told the people at the mountain. Yahuwah said to Moses, go to the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their garments and be ready for the 3rd day. Don't sleep with your wives, for on the 3rd day Yahuwah will come down in the sight of all the people on Mount Sinai. So they were holy and ready for the 3rd day. You shall set bounds to the people all around, saying, be careful that you don't go up unto the mountain or touch its border. Whoever touches the mountain shall be surely put to death. No hand shall touch him, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through. Whether it is animal or man, he shall not live. When the trumpet sounds long, they shall come up to the mountain. Moses went down from the mountain to the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. He said to the people, be ready by the 3rd day. Don't have sexual relations with a woman. Kaboom! There it is. On the 3rd day, when it was morning, there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud on the mountain, and the sound of an exceeding loud trumpet, and all the people who were in the camp trembled. Moses led the people out of the camp to meet Elohim, and they stood at the lower part of the mountain. 17:23. So 18. The mount of Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because Elohim had descended upon it in fire, and the smoke went up as the smoke of a furnace, and the people were exceedingly amazed. And the sounds of the trumpet were waxing very much louder. Moses spoke, and Elohim answered him with a voice, and Yahuwah came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mountain. And Yahuwah called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. And Elohim spoke to Moses, saying, go down and solemnly charge the people, lest at any time they draw nigh to Elohim to gaze, and a multitude of them fall. And let the priests that draw nigh to Yahuwah Elohim sanctify themselves, lest he destroy some of them. So you got to be holy, stand in his presence. Moses said to Yahuwah, the people can't come up to Mount Sinai, for you warned us, saying, set bounds around the mountain and sanctify it. Yahuwah said to him, go down, you shall bring Aaron up with you, but don't let the priests and the people break through to come up to Yahuwah, lest he break out against them. So Moses went down to the people and told them. 25. And so Exodus 20. Oh, holy. And it talks about that a little bit in Revelation also. And Yahuwah is holy. The Messiah, holy. No sin, spotless. Holy still. Revelation 22:11. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. One group of people. He which is filthy, let him be filthy still. Second group of people. He that is righteous, let him be righteous still. Third group of people. He that is holy, let him be holy still. Fourth group of people. So, I think I'm going to stop there at, let's see, Exodus. Yep, we're on 20. So, 19. Yep, 15 to 19. That was a loaded one. Happy Sabbath, Electra, and Happy Sabbath, Mark. Happy Sabbath, Isaiah. It's always been about obedience from John. Adam and Eve disobeyed God and were kicked out of Eden. It will be no different at the end. Disobedience does not get you into the city. Keeping the commandments does. And yep, exactly, 100%. And Happy Sabbath, Nate. So, I hope that was a blessing to someone and helpful. And